Aloha, my name is KaelynA, and this is my personal portfolio for ECED 264 Inquiry and Physical Curriculum. On the cover of my binder, I have my title, my name, my course name, my instructor's name, and the date, and I included a picture that I took myself of the sunset because it sparks my sense of wonder and holds a special place in my heart. When you first open my portfolio, you'll see my table of contents, and it is just numbered by Roman numeral. My first tab is my course info. This includes our course syllabus, a copy of our course timeline, a copy of my record sheet, and my volunteer timesheets number 1, 2, and 3. My next tab is my completed assignments. The first section of this tab is my activity plans. My first activity plan is my activity plan number 1 on social studies and large motor, and I just included a copy of my final plan with my self rubric and supervisor rubric. Next, I have a copy of my activity plan number 2 for math and fine motor. So here is the final plan, my self rubric, and my supervisor rubric. And the final plan I have is my activity plan number 3 on science and sensory. Here's a copy of the final plan, my self rubric, and supervisor rubric. The next section of this tab is my RRR papers. The first one I included is my RRR number 1 on social studies and large motor. Next, I have my RRR number 2 on math and fine motor. And finally, I have my RRR number 3 on science and sensory. My next section is the physical environment project. My partner for this project was KaelynA, and our environment project was called Nakula Kamali'i o Pa'ani, the preschool of play. So this just includes a copy of our report, our pictures, checklists, and finally the rubric. The next section is my discussion posts and replies. So I have them all labeled here on the side with colored tabs, starting with discussion 1 and my replies, discussion 2 post, my replies, discussion 3 post, my replies, discussion 4 post, my reply, and finally discussion 5 post with my reply. The final section of this tab is the integrated study plan. Our plan was on plastic pollution, and my group name was TKDIR, which was Tasia, myself, Danielle, Iria, and Ryan. And I included a copy of our final plan. And at the very end, it includes our weekly plan and rubric. My next tab is my 10 entries. They are labeled here on the side with colored tabs, starting with entry 1, entry 2, and I just included some personal notes. I have my sense of wonder journal here, my pie reflection, some more notes, have some pictures from my activity implementations. Oh. I have some anecdotal records, some extra credit proofs, and my 10th and final entry being my final statement. My next tab is my classmates' completed assignments. The first section of this tab is my classmates' social studies and large motor activity plans. I included 3 of them. Here is the first one, the second one, and the third one. Next, I have my classmates' math and fine motor activity plans. I included 3 of these as well. Here's the first one, the second one, and the third one. Next, I have my classmates' science and sensory activity plans. There are 3 of these as well. First one, second one, and the third one I included. Next section is my classmates' RRR papers. The first one I have is a social studies RRR. Next, I have an RRR on math. And finally, I have an RRR on science. My next section is a classmate's physical environment. I included the environment Little Opihi Academy, and it includes a copy of their report and checklist and pictures. Next, I have my classmates' discussion posts. I included 1 from each discussion, labeled right here, 1 through 5. Here's the first one, and it includes classmates' responses at the end. Second, third, the fourth, and the 5th discussion. The last section of this tab is the integrated study plan. I included the final plan about gardening and food security done by group Twinkies ×3 with their weekly plan at the very end. My next tab is my curriculum handouts. I have them labeled here on the side, and I included 3 for each section. So the first one is my social studies and large motor handouts. This is my first handout, my second handout, and my third handout. Next, we have my math and fine motor handouts. This being my first one, my second one, and the third one. And last but not least, I have my science and sensory handouts. My first one, my second one, and my third one. And my final tab in my portfolio is additional materials. I included 3 handouts that I felt were important and useful resources. So the first one is a core values in early childhood education handout. Next, we have Teaching Young Children, an introduction by Michael L. Henniger, and this includes types of play for young children. And last but not least, I have open-ended questions on this handout. And that is it for my personal portfolio. Thank you for watching.